Just want to wish all of you and your families the very, very best season, a safe season, a happy season. For those that are working and away from their families, thank you on behalf of the whole of the membership that's give us the protection to run the strategies out there and be able to defend our industry from all of those that are attacking it, and there are many. We're caught up in the middle of the cube negotiations, and they're a tough crew that hasn't got any respect for their workforce. They're going to have to earn our respect on the basis of that. We had a tough year with DP World, who they were going to be tough guys too, and they think that they can both talk about how excellent their stevedoring operations are while bagging their employees. And they learn a very hard lesson too. We're trying to work with a government that's got a policy to be able to put seafarers back up the gangway. Haven't seen generations really of seafarers dragged down under coalition policies, one after the other, the port and so many of them, and the most brutal and disrespectful and political and ideological way. And there has been a commitment. We're redrafting the legislation on the Coastal Training Act. There's money set aside for the first batch of strategic fleet, Australian manned and Australian flagged ships. And we've got to work with a government that's also at the same time taking away trade union rights to our, and I'll reach out to the brothers and sisters of our union from the construction division, that on the basis of an ongoing beat up and misrepresentations and really organised political and ideological thrust to harm effective unions have now placed themselves in a situation where 260 officials of that union had been sacked, many of them unable to get back to the job and having a tough Christmas. And I just want to reach out to them too. We're MUA here to stay. We merge with the construction division, and it's going to be CFMEU here to stay too. It's a union of great pride in our history, great militancy and determination. There's no room for criminality, but what's been put in place with this legislation has got nothing to do with criminality. It's close to union bashing. And the Labor government need to acknowledge that and repair the damage that's been done already. We had our MUA quadrennial conference, and the membership, the working men and women of this union, determine where you want your union to go for that 4-year period. And we made determinations about internationalism. If we're going to fight an international stevedoring industry, if we're going to fight an international shipping industry with their flag of convenience ships, we have to organise internationally. We're supporting the ILA in the battle against automation. And automation isn't about productivity. When they talk automation, they talk union busting and union bashing. Working with the ILWU, our good brothers and sisters on the West Coast and throughout Europe. We had the war on the waterfront that spread out. It's a social dimension to our union. It's the industrial dimension. There's a political dimension. There's a comradeship and a determination that there is a knowledge that if we don't stick together and we don't fight, we lose. But at the same time, we're great internationalists and we have families and we have social lives. And when you see coming together in Hawaii with longshoremen, with our brothers and sisters from MUNS, and then recently in War on the Waterfront where it all started in Sydney, is a demonstration of what this union really is. So we're an international union. We have to be an international union because the employer's international. Multinationals don't pay tax. Avoid taxation, avoid responsibility, avoid regulations. Hide behind flag of convenience campaigns and flag of convenience shipping to take away our rightful to work in our own industry. So we've got to be international, we've got to work internationally. And part of that is to protect the standards at the bottom end of the industry and show our strength and our determination, our courage and what we really stand for, and know where to hide. The work that Ian Bray has done and his team from the ITF that goes up the gangway with many, many volunteers from the stevedoring and port services and seafarers on leave that want to make a better life, just not for themselves and their own families, but also understand the workers coming to and from this country that have been exploited, that were treated with contempt during COVID. The same as we were on the wharves. Our rights were taken away, stripped. Many of those seafarers were imprisoned on ships for 2 years. Well, there's room in our world for them too. And so we are coming together, thinking about each other, thinking about workers all over the world. In Palestine, when you see what's going on there, just a dreadful unfolding of brutality and criminality and genocide, where people have no rights. So politicians hold the rights, with people negotiating around hostages and negotiating around violence and negotiating around the destruction of communities and the destruction of hospitals and the horrific death toll and mortality around. Well, we reach out to them too. Because if we want to live in the world and we want to survive in this world and want to be respected in this world and want to have power in this world, real power to have decent lives, we've also got to have empathy and compassion for those people without power. And that's part of our history. That's part of who we are. And we're proud of that. We're very proud of that. I'm at the Union School now. We've got a whole agenda. It's been fully refurbished with the assistance of the ITF. And that we've got a situation where we've got a whole new generations of young workers, maritime workers coming through that want to do more in the union and should be doing more in the union and are the future leadership in the current leadership. And we've got to address the gender imbalance. We can't talk about a functional society and a functional government, a functional industry unless we're a functional union and we've got recognition that there's room in our union for everyone. So again, I wish you the very, very best on behalf of the National Council of the Union, on behalf of the executive, but most of all of the workers. Thank you for your work. Thank you for your belief and involvement in the union. As long as we got that, we've got a future based on opportunity, peace, and an ability to build a better world. Have a good season.